there was a game of footy on last night. I watched most of it. Going to say I may have flicked over to the Cowboys documentary on Netflix at one point in the second half, but Kingy was there live for Toolkit Depot. Father's Day sale is on now. Good morning to you, Kingy. What's your first
Morning,
thoughts?
Cornesy. First thoughts. Look, it was a bit of a non-event, really, but Carlton just still had to get the job done. You still got to win those games. It's still important, I think, for your club and your fans to tick the season off properly. Essendon are backs to the wall with selection. There's just no one available. So it was stark when you see the availability of the two. And it's probably a real shame. It's hard to assess Essendon this year in any meaningful way.
Okay.
And it brings challenges, doesn't it? I mean, how do you do your list management at the end of the season? It's going to be a real challenge for both clubs, I think, to assess who is and who isn't taking them really up the ladder.
Yeah, I saw you chat with Vossi as well pre-game. You were sort of asking him that and around sort of what went wrong in this season. He said, well, losing the first four is not ideal. How far are they off it? We'll start with the Blues. Are they a genuine finals contender if they get a few things right with their list management in the off-season?
Yeah, I'm a believer in Vossi.
You are, yep.
And I think that he coaches a certain way because he's been hamstrung a little bit by the lack of ball users. They have to play the extra handball game, and we've talked a lot about that over the last couple of years. And I have people sending me messages saying, are they still one handball away from success? Well, the way they have to play, because they don't have the skillful. I mean, Adam Sard is a nice halfback flanker, but is he a real game shaper? Hollands has been tried there this year with moderate success. They don't have a halfback that can really slice and dice by foot. So until they get something like that at halfback, and then maybe something like that on a wing or at half forward, then they'll just be this.
So this is the question: where does that something come from? Because it's not just one area of their list that needs development. Like, so you can go to the draft and you can get it that way, and you can use the compensation for DeConing and do it that way. But that's not going to help Michael Voss next year. So who are they? Who's out there? How aggressive do they get? Do they give something significant to go and get that? What are you prepared to give? So Vossi was adamant about Mackay and Curnow pre-game, that they're better with them both. You can't imagine that he wants to trade Sam Walsh. I'm not sure what else they have of currency on their list. So is there a risk they're going to overestimate where they're at and be in a similar position this time next year?
No, and I know Nick Newman is a massive inclusion for them next year, but they need some youngsters that can do that. I mean, Nick's not young anymore. So whilst he might be able to do that for another 2 or so years, they're going to need the next level to take over in that role. And I think it's an easy function to fix. I really do. I think that skillful halfbacks are one of the easiest commodities to find. And if you really want one, you'll get a deal done to get one. They've got to give Michael Voss a chance. I guess that's what I'm saying. He's shown that he can get them to a prelim final where they win 13.5 and then 13 wins. So he's shown that he can deliver on his end of the bargain. They've got to give him more tools. That's why it's a full club thing, winning premierships. You've got to make more correct decisions than incorrect, and I just think they've been a little bit idle.
Blues fans, 1300 736 736. Give us your thoughts on that. I didn't mind Motlop on ball. I thought one of the better games I've seen him play. Got a lot of the footy and looked as though there's some attributes there that they would be thinking, okay, well can he be a 65% Cozzy Pickett, 70%? Can he be that? Can he get to that level? Some of the things he did last night were good. And you mentioned Hollands. I thought his first half was strong across halfback. There's some limitations with his game. And I don't think he's going to be a scintillating ball user across halfback, but he runs hard, he works hard, he's honest, and he gets enough of the footy. So there was some
like
positives.
Moya?
Yeah, I like Moya. I think, but he needs a huge preset. Like, get as fit as you possibly. Don't waste a year. Like, the talent is there, but you got to be getting more than 10 touches a game. So he's got to lift his level. He's got to lift his endurance, his work rate, so he's at more contests and can be involved more. Because when he is involved and the footy's in his hands, he's smart, he's a good footballer, and he makes good decisions, and he can hurt you.
How did you find the handling of the whole DeConing situation?
Pretty good.
Pretty
good. Like, can't fault it, really. I think both were very mature. They would have loved a bit high level of performance from him in the back half of the year, but I thought even right until this game, They spoke about it maturely, and Vossi sent him off on the right note with respect in game 100. And I think it's going to be a win-win for them. I do.
Yeah, I think it was done really well. Do you think it would have been easier to tell the fans 2-3 weeks ago and then just have the natural finish anyway? Or do you think that this is the perfect way to do it?
I think this is the perfect way to do it with where we're at right now.
Okay.
And
I think once you've made your decision, it's a good thing to tell the fans.
The club
That's what I don't mind about
Do you think the club
NRL.
know, though? Like, do you think he's even told the club yet?
Yeah, he virtually did in the speech
after
the game. So the players would have known. Like, there would have been a handful of players that would have known. And once you tell one, you tell them all. Let's be honest. The footy clubs are pretty tight, bunches. Generally, the playing unit. So, no, I'm a believer that as soon as you know, let's just inform and get on with it.
All right, Blues fans, you can jump on and have your say. And from the Bombers' point of view, as you touched on, pretty difficult to assess this season and where to from here, and whether they're, I don't know, what sort of level they get to next year, Kingy.
I want to ask you a question. So if the only player that really would be of any value, say, to a contender and someone that's, I don't know if he's gettable or not. I don't know if Zach Merritt's gettable. I don't know. But if Sam Mitchell was able to find a way to get him out of there, I mean, even paying the world, this is the sort of guy I think's got another 5 years in him at a high level. Beautiful user, beautiful ball winner.
Say 400 games. I completely agree with you. It might have been actually Josh Gabelich during the week that said this is the kind of guy that'll get to 400. He's determined, he's professional, he's durable. So I agree with you. Would you do that deal if you're Essendon? Like, this is
not if I'm Essendon, but this is the art of creating a gun list. Is sometimes you've got to drive a wedge in. Hey, don't hang around there. What are you doing wasting your time?
Yeah,
come and play with us.
He's
and come
contracted,
and
if you are Essendon, is there any way you are entertaining a trade for Merritt, your captain, who is contracted?
No, probably you're making it hard for them though. And I think what you've got to do is you've just got to sort of swing it a little bit. This is how it starts, right? And I don't think there'd be one Essendon fan that would begrudge Zach Merritt going on to try and achieve the ultimate. He wakes up. He said in a pre-game interview with Mark Howard that he just still dreams about winning a flag, and it's the only thing that drives him. I think you've got your obligation. I'd love to know. I don't know if Sam Mitchell will tell us the truth, but how hard they've gone to try and drive a wedge into getting him out of there.
Well, the Saints did, didn't they, with Merritt, which forced him to go to the negotiating table with Essendon and get a pay rise when they didn't need to. So I think Essendon have been very good to Zach. They've paid him when they didn't need to. He was already under contract. So I doubt whether he would go down that line again and whether the Bombers would entertain it. I think for Hawthorn it'd be Butters for me. They'd be all in and trying to.
A lot of suitors for Butters though. A lot of suitors.
As attractive as Hawthorn?
As attractive as Hawthorn. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Who? Yep. Dogs?
Oh, I think most players that come out of contract, if the money's there, find Collingwood seriously attractive. Big club. It's the lure of playing for the black and white stripes.
Good luck coming up with a trade with the lack of assets that they've got.
So I get it, but those deals get done though.
They do if you're out of contract. Restricted free agent, of course, at the end of next year. What do you reckon? Hawks fans, Bombers fans, Zach Merritt, would you begrudge him? I'd be looking at, if you're Essendon, players that have let you down with their body, but still have attributes that a club would love to get. So Ridley, for me. Ridley as an interceptor, good ball user across halfback, doesn't play. Contracted, yes. If a club needed that intercepting good user across halfback, that is a player I'd look at moving if I'm Essendon and getting ahead of that and trying to rebuild that way. Because there's some players on the list. I don't know about Perkins, what someone would give you for Perkins, whether it's selling too low at the moment. But they do have some players on the list that would be attractive to other clubs, but have continually let them down. So I'd be looking at that. Have you say 1300 736 736. Let's have a listen to Patrick Cripps, who spoke about who we think is leaving. That's Tom De Koning post-game on Fox Footy.
Oh, he's a competitor. We love playing with him. You couldn't question the way he rocked up this year or ever. And to play 100 games for any club special, so he gets a name on the locker, and he's going to go down for a 100-game Carlton player forever.
As I said, well handled by coach, captain, and the player himself. Here is that player saying he's got a big decision to make. Yeah,
obviously this week will be huge. Just obviously a big decision, and yeah, looking forward to getting to Bali and getting to surfing and clearing the head after a big year.
Thought he was going to say the Bahamas.
He might see a friend of mine over here. It did sound that way, didn't it?
How will he be received at the Saints? Will he be a much loved figure? Will he be a player that is starting very much off the back marker if it's a handicap race with winning the fans over at the Saints?
Just got to play good footy.
Yeah.
There's only one way to win them over, and that's hit the ground running.
Yeah.
If you're signing for the big check, you have to. The first month of footy is going to be so critical. You have a slow start to the year, and the pressure will build with that sort of ticket. But if he has a fast start to the year, and Max King's up forward doing what he does, and you got Naz going crazy, things can change pretty quickly. The dynamic at St Kilda can change pretty quick if they are playing high level footy. These individuals.
Last week you had?
Last week I had our man Kieran Briggs.
And good response?
Well, he didn't have his best game, Kieran. It's fair to say he got destroyed in the ruck. Big Witsy took him to task, but the boys at ground level were good enough to mop it up. The hit-outs were 50-22, 12-4 to advantage in favour of Big Witsy.
Yep.
But they got him for scores from clearance. So he was ranked the 38th player on the ground, Briggsy.
Okay.
So he was well and truly
Still
in
got
the
a lift.
chamber.
I had our man Chris Fagan for selecting
And?
Charlie Cameron. He was right and I was wrong, which I did forecast. I said, look, historically he's got good results by being loyal to his players.
Very good.
And
You're even forecasting when you're wrong.
I did. I
enjoyed
said
it.
I wouldn't be surprised if he sticks with him, and he did, and he got the result. In the guns for Grays.com, Australia's leading online auction marketplace. Who's in the gun this week?
Selection. There is, if you take the risk on Hayden,
just selections in the gun, or
there's only one team in the gun this weekend. I don't even need to mention names. I don't even need to mention colours. I don't even need to mention states. If you play Hayden Young and he breaks down, then you, my friend, are in the biggest of guns.
But hang on.
You're in a cannon.
This is a final. It is all in. There's no
Even more reason.
There's no tomorrow. Well, you're not going to play him.
Hey?
There is no tomorrow.
There is a tomorrow. Of
There
course
isn't
there's
a tomorrow. There's no tomorrow. If you lose,
if they win on Sunday,
if they
there's a
don't,
tomorrow.
There's no tomorrow. So you're picking your best team if there's a slight risk or not.
Not if there's a risk with the guy that's been injured consistently all year.
So Jack Buckley's playing for the Giants. Same in the gun.
Has he missed through hamstring injuries all year and setbacks all year?
But he's coming off a significant calf injury.
He's been a pretty consistent performer.
Yeah,
He's
still a risk. They said
very rarely
they
out.
said when he did the calf that his season home and away was done. So clearly they've sort of not. I'm not going to say
they're not
rush,
in a must win. They're not rushing him back for a must win.
Well, they're pretty much they do.
I'm
win.
putting it's my listen.
Yeah, I know.
It's mine in the gun.
I'm allowed to challenge
Get your own.
I've got my own in the gun. I'm allowed to challenge your.
Well,
in the
mine
gun.
is. Hey, if you pick him and he play, I don't think he'll play, right? But if he plays,
So you wouldn't play him if
I wouldn't
you're
play. If he's
Freo,
less
you
than-
wouldn't play him.
if he's less than 90%, no way. Because I'm backing the rest to get the job done. And then we have him for week one of the finals. My boys.
I don't know if they can win without him. I'm picking him. Disagree with you. In the gun, just a quick. This is a look. I hope that Boki and Ken get the send off they deserve, and I just hope that there are no boos anywhere from the crowd tonight.
Boos?
Yeah. So Port fans, in the gun tonight.
I reckon there'll be boos.
I hope not. I really, really, in my
Are you
heart
part
of
of the
hearts,
chair off? Are you part of the chair off for
not.
Kent?
I hope not. Grays.com, Australia's leading
Are
online
you
auction
part of the chair
marketplace.
off?
No, I'm working. I'm just doing another 8 hours on air, okay?
Are
I'm
you going
working.
down, suited up?
I'm working. It's easy to buy and sell with Grays.
Northern Bull Ants for me, the Preston Footy Club, been an outstanding place for young men to go and ply their trade over many moons. Just a real shame that they've found financial rough times, and it looks like they're going to fold. I mean, we need some people to get in and get behind this and save this football club. A proud place that I played VFA back in the day. It was a thriving football club until the AFL took control of Sunday football and in a lot of ways destroyed the VFA. I just think that the AFL have a role to play here with the Northern Bullants, the Preston Football Club, to keep them afloat.
Good call. And there would be many out there
Spoke
agreeing
to,
with you on that.
Spoke to my man Daniel Hartford, who's a former Best and Fairest winner at the Northern Bullants. So he's going to hope to put something together. We might try and chat with him next week. But, just a real shame. I think there's things that we can avoid, and this is one thing the AFL should not allow to happen.
I was interested in Alistair Clarkson, who did the media rounds during the week at his media conference. I think it was yesterday. He had this to say about the difficulties of rebuilding your list.
It's been as challenging a time as ever in the game to how you secure your players, and whether it's to do with Northern academies, the next generation academies. I think to be fair, the total rebuild, any club giving consideration to that just won't go there ever again, unless there can be some sort of mechanism where you can see opportunity to be able to improve your list. And by and large, many have thought, well, we'll be able to improve our list to be able to get really, really high draft picks, and maybe we'll trade a player to get another high draft pick. But yeah, you just can't get into the high end of the draft because of all the compromises to the first round in particular.
Firstly, is that accurate with North? Have they been unable to get into the high end of the first round? I don't think that's accurate at all. Well, the 2020 pick 3 and 13, 21 pick 1, 22 pick 3 and pick 4, 23 pick 4 and 20, 2024 pick 2, and they traded pick 2 for this year. How have they not been able to get into the pointy end of the draft? Is he talking on behalf of other clubs, or?
Only he would know. I mean, they would know what they've tried to do and failed at.
But that's the fact. That's what they've had. They've had the pointy end.
Yeah,
There's been no compromises there.
No, but he might be trying to talk about getting back in for pick 6 or pick 7 or pick 10.
Because, well, don't you think that's enough to rebuild? It's like 3 and 13 over the space of 5 years. They've had 3 and 13, pick 1, 3 and 4, 4 and 20, 2, and then traded 2 out. I think that's pretty into the top end of the draft. That's not exactly what I want to talk about, but I don't think that was quite. If he's talking about North and not other clubs, like St Kilda would probably try and get up, but they finished in that quicksand range. It is harder to get there, but I don't think for North. But is the rebuild dead? Is what I wanted to ask. Is the complete rebuild of your list dead, or are you going, well, Adelaide did it pretty successfully with the way they rebuilded, and now they're getting the results?
But we were critical of them only 3 years ago.
Yeah, I'm not giving an opinion here.
Yeah.
I'm just opening this up for a discussion. Is the pure rebuild dead now with what he's saying? It just takes
such a long time. It just takes 6, 7, 8 years of drafting, and most supporter bases, I think, have come to the realisation that they have to have patience for that, but it's a big investment. I think it's broken a lot of North Melbourne supporters. And you see them going to the footy and they just, here we go again. So it's tough, isn't it, to do a full rebuild?
Yeah.
You have to,
so I wonder
you have to have a blend.
What the options are, because what other choice do you have?
No, well, that's why I think people are critical of Collingwood, saying we're taking players rather than picks because we're already at a level. You can call that top 6 or top 8, wherever you want, whatever level you want to call that, and we're just going to go after free agents and go that way and try and pay our way through and maintain status quo. And if you can get a couple of kids in that can give you that extra boost, well, so be it. It's hard, isn't it?
So West Coast looks like they're going to get pick 1 and 2. You clearly take those, and then I don't know. Is what St Kilda are doing? Is that the model? Keep your talented players, go to the draft, and then try and pick off a couple of others by paying huge money for. Or let's say Lecalier, let's say Ryan. I don't know if they're paying huge money for him, but certainly more attractive offer than what he's going to get at the Eagles. Is that the model?
I don't know what the exact model is.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think when you look at this is why the West Coast Eagles priority pick or a concessional pick discussion is up for grabs, is up for discussion. How long do you want them to be bad for? Because it's going to be 6, 7 years anyway. Like, why not get ahead of it and say, look, we need to start helping this club get back on their feet? And people say, but they won a flag. And the counter arguments are easy to make for everything we do. But you're going to have clubs that are stuck down the bottom for quite some time. Yeah, pick your poison with your rebuild, but if you make too many poor decisions, like Essendon are in trouble because they've missed on their first round picks.
Yes. Yeah.
So if you make a few blues, you pay a heavy price